Hey guys, welcome back to the fourth episode of Lights Off Podcast. Today, pretty stoked have Ness Foliaki, current NRLW player, a massive in footy. So pretty stoked to have you here, sis. How you been so far? Keeping well over there?
Oh, thanks for having me. I've been in isolation for the last few months, so just been doing a lot of training, a lot of cooking, and
Oh, nice.
working. So it's been really good. I've enjoyed it. Really
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
must be your guys' isolation's a little bit different over there. Is it like you're allowed out a lot, or is it pretty locked up over there?
Yeah, well, Australia is not as strict as New Zealand. As soon as the virus hit New Zealand, they should have sort of shut everything off. But here in Australia, we've kind of been free to do whatever really. So it's not been really an isolation for us, but for myself, I've been isolated for the last couple of months. So we have a bit of a leeway here in Australia, but not that many restrictions.
Oh yeah, well that's good. That's better than here. There's like prison over here, but we're out. We're in level one now, so so, so that's good. For those that might not
I
know who you
know,
are,
so good. That's amazing.
oh no, first weekend actually last week, just gone first weekend out of ISO. So and I actually didn't go anywhere. I wanted to stay home. So yeah, I think we're just still adjusting to coming out
Oh,
of
boring.
isolation. Homebody, homebody. um, but just for those who
No.
don't know who you are, do you want to just give us an intro, bit of a background, on who you are, what you're about, where you were brought up, and things like that?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Ness Foliaki, and I play for the Roosters. I was born and raised in Auckland, New Zealand,
Let's
South
go.
Auckland. Go the Blues.
Let's go.
Um, so yeah, I moved to Australia 10 years ago. So I've been here for 10 years,
Oh,
but I still consider myself very much a Kiwi because my parents still live there. So I'm in New Zealand every year. So still very much a Kiwi, but now I'm based in Australia.
oh, sick. And with your like family and that, is it you got a big family, like siblings and things like that?
Not as big as other poly families, but I'm actually a twin, so
Oh,
I
no
have a
way.
twin brother. Yeah, so I have a twin brother, Matthew, and my sister's a twin. So I've got
Oh,
two sets of twins in my family, which is pretty unique, and an older brother, so only five of us.
oh yeah. And do they all stay over in Oz, or you got some here with mom and dad?
So I've got one sister back home with mum and dad. I've got two brothers in Orange, New South Wales, in the middle of nowhere. And my other sister is here with me. We live together.
Oh, sick. And you're in Sydney at the moment. Have you always been there?
Interesting. So when I came from New Zealand, I went straight to Orange. So I actually finished my last two high school years at James Sheehan Catholic High School in Orange.
Oh yeah,
I lived in Newcastle for a year, and I've been in Sydney for the last couple of years, but I actually relocated to Brisbane for the last 4 years with my partner or my ex-partner.
yeah.
And now I'm back home. So I've been away for the last 4 years, but I'm back in Sydney now.
Oh, cool. And obviously growing up here and then moving over to Australia was that like a personal decision to move over to Oz?
Yeah, they do call Australia the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
So mum sent us over here when we were 16, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, well, when I was 16, and just to give it a crack here and see what it was like to live in Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely the land of opportunity here, and I've enjoyed my last 10 years here.
So, and obviously being a footy player and that, how did that come about? Like, who inspired you to like kickstart into to footy?
Yeah, so back home in New Zealand, everyone plays union. So I started my career playing rugby union from the age of about 6.
Yeah.
And I played union all the way up till 2016. So I only
Oh,
just
true.
started playing league, yeah, in 2014. So yeah, I started union when I was playing back home in New Zealand, and then transitioned into rugby league. But my biggest inspiration would be my dad. He's a massive footy head, and you know he trained me when I was back home in New Zealand. So you know, I the reason why I played rugby was because of my dad.
Yeah, awesome. And is like your siblings and that, do they play footy too, or you kind of the one that carries all the sport teams?
My sisters definitely no, no, they have not gone near a footy ball their whole life. I don't think. But yeah, my brothers definitely play.
Oh, sick. And look over. That's so true about the union because it's such a Kiwi thing to be playing union over here, and then carrying it on over to Australia. So how did you like? Did you go straight into school and then progress into club and that from there, or how did your journey look when you were playing over there?
Yeah, so when I moved to Orange, there wasn't much footy.
Mm.
They did play union over there, so I was lucky enough I got to play for Orange Emus. No one's ever heard of them, but Orange Emus. I play for
Oh
Orange
yeah,
Emus,
yeah, no,
and yeah, sad.
no, you're the email.
Don't even. So I started there, and then I was lucky enough to play for New South Wales Country.
Yeah.
So I played country, New South Wales Country Rugby Union, and then when I moved to Sydney, I actually played for Para. So I was
Hey.
playing union for Para for the last for 4 years. Yeah, 4 years playing for Para. And then one of my good mates actually took me over to rugby league in 2014 to just have a crack, and you know, and I've been stuck with it for the last 6 years now.
Yeah. Do you like between the two, is there things of rugby league that you probably enjoy a bit more than union, or find it quite similar?
They're quite similar. I guess with rugby, it's more of a tactical game. I enjoy that. You know,
Yeah.
leagues a lot quicker. I don't enjoy that running back 10 meters. It's easier just to
Not
stand at
about
the
that
run.
life. Not about that life.
No, but they're pretty similar sports.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
obviously going into rugby league 2014, you said, did you kind of just go in with the headspace, I'm just gonna give it a crack, not really thinking it would head towards like where you are at today, like a more like a career?
Yeah, absolutely. So the reason why I went to rugby league is because we actually had a buy in union that weekend. So at the
That's a
time,
classic.
yeah, at the time, they were having a tournament with rugby league, and we had a buy, and the team, my mate's team, they were low numbers.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh, just come play," and I was like, "Oh, okay, you know, I'm not doing anything." So I went to that day, but I didn't know that that day was selection for New South Wales.
Oh
So
no
it was
way.
like just it was just out of it, yeah. And then I got picked up by New South Wales that year, so I got to debut for New South Wales in 2014, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I was in the Deliveroo squad at the end of the year.
Far out. So that was quite a pretty quick transition. Like just give league a crack and then sorry about it, like go straight to the top. Was it quite full on with that being it happening so fast, like with going straight into it when you were just kind of just wanting to give it a crack?
Yeah, it was. You know, I didn't think that I would make it in the league ever, but when I got the opportunity, it was different. You know, I was happy that in the first year that I got to represent New South Wales and make the Australian squad, but it was definitely something that I had to get my head around because I didn't expect to play one tournament, get picked for New South Wales, and into the Australian squad. So um, it was definitely a massive surprise, but it's led me to my journey now, and I'm grateful that I went to that day
Yeah.
that they had the random tournament on.
Yeah, definitely. And like, how did you like cope with like the training in there? It would have been almost like going from like just casual social training to like full on like rep training.
Yeah, so I didn't know what it meant to play for New South Wales and Australia, because I never really watched rugby league. Like, I was never a massive fan. So to me, when I made it, in all honesty, it was a privilege to play for New South Wales and make the Australian squad, but I never really fully understood what it meant to play for your state and for your country until I got the opportunity to. So it was a massive step up, going from park footy to rep level, where those players at the time, like Renee Carnes, Ruan Sims, Steph Hancock, all of them, they set the bar for us. So a new person like me coming in, it was a massive
Yeah,
shock and shock to the system, but it was an awesome experience.
yeah. If they can like putting that New South Wales jersey on, I won't hold that against you. I'll go for Queensland, but uh,
I should just end
it's a
the
it's a
meeting
bit
right now.
difficult, trying to talk about the circle team that you should they play for. No, but how
Okay,
the
I'll just end the Zoom now.
yeah, I'm just gonna leave the meeting now. No, but when you put on the jersey, like for the first time, obviously being amongst some of the greats in rugby league, how did you feel like emotionally with that one? Was it quite full on? Did you have family that were there for your first game?
Yeah, so I was really lucky. My first year, the New South Wales game was here at Leichhardt, sorry, in Sydney. So I had lots of family and friends that were able to make that game. But as I stated before, I didn't really know what it meant to play for New South Wales, because I never expected to get there. So putting on that jersey and seeing how emotional people were, like Eliana, who has played for New South Wales for the last 10 years, Rui, there were a couple others, Beck Young, hearing their stories of what it meant to put on that blues jersey made us, very emotional, because, at the time, New South Wales had never won. Like, we had been beaten for the last 16 years in a row.
How many
So
years? No.
so yeah, 16 years in a row we had never won. It wasn't until she lost that game. So we lost that game in 2014, and Queensland gave us a hiding. I remember it like it was yesterday. Sorry to say. they gave us a hiding that day, and we went into the sheds, and I can remember, seeing everyone crying, like Sammy Bremner and Al and all the girls. They were crying, and I didn't really understand what it meant, how much it actually meant to them, this game. So
Yeah,
after that day, honestly, I said to myself, I want to play for New South Wales every year, and I'm
cool.
not gonna stop till we beat them, which we have.
Hey, I don't remember that game.
No, but yeah, it was honestly a game changer, losing that game, because it put a lot of fire in my belly to come back and win one for our state.
Yeah, and then like after that, so then transition, sorry, into the Australian one. So how was that like journey? Obviously, that would have been quite a big step going into international. Um, by then, had you kind of grasped the whole idea of this footy journey, of the rugby league journey?
Not really, honestly. Like, it all happened real quick.
Yeah,
So I didn't really get an opportunity to really sit back and think about what was happening to me in this year. Like, it happened within the year, but I was fortunate enough to get selected into the Nines, which was in 2015, the very
yeah.
first Australian Nines, where I
So
made my debut,
yeah,
which was awesome. And I've been fortunate enough to play for Australia for the last couple of years. But yeah, it was a massive stepping stone from New South Wales, especially playing with the greats, like I said before, like Hancock, and being coached by Tanya Norris and all the old girls, Heather Ballinger and all them.
yeah.
But yeah, it was a experience of a lifetime, and I'm really glad that I got to put on the jersey next to some of the greats who've retired now.
Yeah. So now it's your turn now. Your turn to carry the team, right? No. How was
I wish.
that phone call when you told your parents? Like, that you've been called up for the Australian team?
Oh, it was weird because they didn't even know that I was playing rugby league, and so
Oh,
they were like,
nothing.
Australia for union. I'm like, no, know what the Jillaroos were. I was like, no, the Jillaroos, and they were like, what is the Jillaroos?
Oh, nothing.
They had no idea what it was. But they were so happy, and I got to go and play in the Lions in New Zealand, so they got to watch me play my very first Australian game, which was a very special moment for my family, and one that I will never forget.
Yeah. And out of like from obviously the beginning like to kind of where you are now, is there like a most memorable moment in your rugby league career so far that kind of stands out?
Yeah, so you won't like this.
I was gonna stop this recording.
um, the
Oh my
origin for
gosh,
the first
I
time.
think you're gonna I think I already know what you're gonna say because I just
Yeah,
remembered.
no, yeah. So we won Origin for the very first time in 2016, and
Sorry.
um, so we won. No, yeah, that's 100%. The highlight of my career was winning the very first Origin for New South Wales.
Yeah, epic, and that would have been quite emotional for especially like you mentioned the ones that have been there for a while as well in the team. It would have quite hit home for them.
Yeah, well, 17 years is a long time not to win a game.
Yeah,
Um,
I might use that as a highlight for 17 years. No.
so I'll never forget that day that we won the Origin and the celebration, and um, after the game everybody was crying and hugging each other, and I got to see um, I got to everyone, actually all the old girls that had played for so long, like Beck, Elle, and Rue, they were I can't explain it, but just the amount of joy and happiness that they had, and um, was just a moment that I will never ever forget, and a moment that I can honestly say was my favorite um, highlight in my footy career thus far.
Epic. Oh, I won't hold that against you. We'll leave that one for you
Thank
to
you. Let us
enjoy.
have one. Come on.
Yeah, just one. But obviously now fast forward quite a bit. NRL's obviously a big thing now in rugby league. So how was that when you first got the call up for the Roosters? Because you've always been with the Roosters, hey, for NRL. Yeah.
Has been. No, yeah, it's awesome. The Roosters are a really, really good club. We haven't performed yet, or got the result that we've been after, but honestly, to be able to put on those colours and play for such an iconic club is also again one of the highlights of my footy career, because it's not every day that you get to say that you played in the NRLW or
Yeah.
for a great club like the Roosters. And especially how good they're going with the boys, like 2 in a row.
Okay. For these
We're
shout
going
outs
well
for your team.
there.
I don't know about these
um,
teams that you play for, eh? Nah,
Can
yeah.
we just stop the Zoom now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. We just need to cut this whole thing.
No, yeah, it was a really special moment, especially being able to do it with some of my best mates, alongside my best mates is that was really special.
Yeah. And obviously good news that the competition's going ahead this year. Are you looking at staying with the Roosters again?
Yeah, it's awesome. Yes, well, I'd love to. I've got to play some good footy first.
Yeah.
No one's seen me play footy this year, thanks to COVID. But yeah, I'm hoping that.
Anti-Rona.
Yeah, I know that. I'm hoping that I get the opportunity to stay at the Roosters. I couldn't see myself in any other colours.
Yeah. And speaking of like footy over there, are you guys still having like a club competition and that before like NRL kicks off, or is it kind of still up in
Um,
the air?
yeah, so we are having a mini club competition, but our team Mounties that I'm playing for has actually pulled out.
Oh, okay.
So we've withdrawn for the season, but I've been given an opportunity to play the rest of the season for another club.
Yeah.
which a couple of mates from Mounties were heading over to help Wenties here in Sydney. So we're going to be playing out the season with them.
Oh, cool. Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Obviously there was recently announced about the World Cup as well, which is pretty exciting. Is that something that you kind of looking forward to or aiming towards?
Yeah, absolutely. The last 2 years I probably haven't played my best footy, but I'm in a really new mindset this year,
Yeah.
and I've been training really hard. So that's the goal,
Yeah.
2021 World Cup. But I'm just taking one step at a time. So if I play good at club and get rewarded the opportunity to play for NRL club and hopefully Origin, then the next thing would be World Cup.
Yeah. That's epic. And yeah, I've seen you've been training pretty hard, looking good there, sis. What have you been eating or
Yeah, well, I'm a vegan now, so
sorry?
now no, the very first time I'm vegan.
Do you have it, guys? Do you have it? Sponsor, somebody sponsor her.
No, it's been really good. I've moved home after the last 4 years of being in Queensland, and I've really changed my lifestyle around in terms of what I eat and my
Yeah.
training, and it's working for me. I feel the fittest that I've been in a while. So,
Yeah.
I'm feeling good, and I'm looking forward to playing footy come in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. And obviously changing to vegan would have been bit of a mix up there, but like what kind of made you change?
Yeah, so one of my mates was actually vegan, and she told me just to search it up and look at all the benefits that it has for your body. And I love meat. All Islanders love meat.
Let's go.
So at the beginning when I did try it last year. It was hard because I eat meat and dairy, and you can't have that being vegan. But I've seen the changes and the amount of energy levels it's given me. And
Yeah.
honestly, I think it'll be a while before I start eating meat again.
How long has it been now?
10 weeks.
2 weeks, no meat.
No meat. Yeah, yeah.
Had any cravings or anything, or you kind of just got used to it now?
I'm pretty used to it. At the beginning, I was missing KFC. Wicked week.
Yeah, the colonel.
But no, now when I think of meat, I can't do it at the moment. So I'm
Yeah.
loving this vegan journey and what it's doing for my body and my mind.
Yeah, no, that's good. Obviously making a bit of sacrifices of your wicked wings and that, but obviously you're feeling a lot better and stuff like that. I know when you hit the field, it's gonna pay off. So good on you for making that decision. Obviously with many athletes, they have a lot of success, but there's also challenges in that they come across. So can you think of a couple of challenges that you might have come across during your footy? Would it be club level or representative that kind of really took a hit on you, whether on your mental health or physically in that, where you kind of were just found yourself in a bit of a struggling position?
Yeah, absolutely. The one of the first things that come to mind as an athlete is injury. Um, and I've been fortunate enough to not have too many injuries, but I've had a broken ankle that I had to have surgery on. So my foot was sort of detached from the ankle, so it was hanging
Bro,
like this.
are you all good now?
Yeah, sorry. This is what my ankle is like. So I had a massive operation in 2016, which put me out for nearly a year, actually 9 months to be
Uh,
exact. So that was really, really, really tough for me because I had never had a serious injury before,
oh yeah.
and especially not being able to walk for 8 weeks was, oh my
Mm,
gosh, you just really appreciate having
the little
legs and you
things.
can't use them. Like just going to the simple things like getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom was difficult because
Yeah.
I couldn't walk there, so I had to get crutches, and
Oh
it was a
no.
nightmare. But um, I was really lucky. I had a awesome support group around me, my teammates at the time, my partner, and my family. So I was able to overcome that.
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
Sick. And so injuries was obviously a big one for you. Is there any other ones that kind of took a hit for you, or was injuries kind of the main one?
Yeah, so another one would be if you're seeing, there's a photo of me kissing another girl.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah, so that photo was actually massive. You know, coming from a Pacific Islander family, and especially Tongans, where that sort of stuff's not accepted or seen as normal.
yeah,
Was was massive. You know, really put me in a dark place for a long time, and I can speak about it freely now because I've sort of overcome that stage of my life. But during those four years that I was actually with my partner at the time, Karina, you know, it was tough. Um, there are a lot of people who had opinions about you know, what I was doing, and the main thing that sort of hurt me the most and put me in a dark place was the attack on my parents. You know, a lot of people, and especially in my Tongan community, to have people who go to church with my parents, or who know my parents who are of Tongan descent, and have them write things like my parents failed as parents because
yeah,
um, I was with a girl was heartbreaking, you know, and it really put me in a dark place because, you know, I honestly thought to myself for so long, you know, is what I'm doing, you know, normal? It actually made me think about it,
yeah,
and you know, so yeah, that put a massive toll on me and my relationship at the time because I was with a Karina who's Aussie, and you know, with Australians they're kind of more they're a bit more accepting, I guess,
yeah,
than us as Pacific Islanders. And you would know we have our own rules.
yeah.
You know,
Yes, we
we're
have our
not.
own laws.
Yeah, we have plenty of them, and you know, if you're not a Pacific Islander, you don't know what it's like to live as a Pacific Islander.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you can explain as much as you want. You can tell
Yeah,
that person as much as you want what it's like, but they will never be able to fully understand what it's like to be a Pacific Islander because you know it's just different.
yeah,
We have, like you said, 1,000 laws. We have many expectations, and a massive thing in our culture is judging. You know, the
yeah,
fear of being judged or being frowned upon because you're different. And
yeah,
yeah, that was massive for me for the last couple of years. And I probably, to be honest, I didn't really think that it affected me that much until I sort of got the help that I needed. And they actually made me think about that part of my life and how much it did affect me. Like I gained so much weight. I had no motivation. You know, I thought I did, but I didn't. I gained a
mm,
lot of weight. I was in a really toxic toxic lifestyle, and you know, I don't blame anybody for that. You know,
yeah,
everybody has a choice, and that's the choices that I made at the time. But yeah, definitely that picture and being in a relationship with a girl for the last 4 years had taken a massive toll on my mental health.
you touched on like culture, and then obviously we've got a lot of laws, I guess, in the Pacific Islands, and it's crazy because obviously what's happening right now in the world around culture, racism, and things like that. Was there even a time where you, growing up, whether being footy or not, that you kind of came across maybe racism or anything like that for being a Pacific Islander? Or were you kind of around a lot of PIs growing up in footy and in school?
Yeah, not that I can think of honestly. I've been lucky. I don't think I've really experienced racism as much. You know, probably like you know the odd that person sees you down the street and they keep looking at you because you're
That's
coloured,
the
but
local thing.
not yeah, but not so much. You know, I haven't really been in a position where I've experienced any racism in sport or in my everyday life that I can remember that's been significant.
Yeah. No, it's and I think
Mm.
it's just like especially with the Aboriginal culture and things like that. How compared to over here in New Zealand, where Māori culture is quite respected as our Indigenous people, how did you see the change, or did you even notice the difference between how Aboriginal people are treated over there compared to over here? Over here, like everyone's like all good with, Māoris in there. We respect it. They're part of our culture, our national anthem. But then over there, it's quite different. So did you kind of see the difference and change in how they were treated over there?
Yeah, it was like you said. Like back in New Zealand, Māoris are really well respected by everybody in New Zealand. So it was a shock when I came to Australia and the Indigenous people here are treated a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Like in terms of national anthem and Australia Day, and I have
Oh
a
yeah,
lot
that's
of
the other one, eh? Yeah, Australia Day. I forgot
yeah,
about.
Australia Day is massive. To be honest, I don't know a lot about the Aboriginal history.
Yeah,
I do know a little bit from what my Aboriginal friends have told me, but I don't know a lot about it. So I don't really know much to comment on it, but it's definitely, they've definitely not treated the same as what our Indigenous people, like the Maori people, are treated back home.
yeah. And like we grew up once you moved over to Oz. Was there many like Pacific Islanders and many Tongans in that over there, or was quite just mainly a lot of Australians? I was gonna say Balinese, but
Yeah, so
wrong
when I
term.
went to Orange, it's a countryside, so we were the only Tongans there.
Oh,
Um,
true.
yeah, so there weren't really many whites or Australians. Sorry, many Tongans in Orange. We were the only ones, so there weren't many of us coloured people there in the countryside, and especially at school, my brother and I were the only sort of coloured people, apart from a few Africans that were there. But yeah, it was mainly from where I'm from in Orange. They are mainly Australians.
Yeah. And do you
Mm.
like in the footy community, obviously there's Cupid, but is there any other like connections that you have with your Tongan community when it comes to rugby league?
No, I don't actually. Like so, you touched on that Cupid.
Yeah.
I put my hand up every year to coach.
Sorry
Um,
about it.
the, the Tongan side, because like I said before, I'm passionate about giving back to the game, and especially um, from my heritage, being Tongan, and I think it's a massive thing when players like myself, who've been able to play for my country and my state and
Yeah.
NRLW, put their hand up to say, I'll coach, I'll come and coach this team, and it it really does. From what I see, like I've been a part of Cubic for the last 4 years,
Yeah.
helping coach, and you just see the difference in terms of like training and playing. Everyone lifts when they get somebody that's played at that level before, and
Yeah.
I just love being able to give back to my community and especially rugby league.
Yeah. It's something different when you play for your culture. I mean, I know even though it's like a kind of like a small tournament, but the passion is pretty much quite up there, especially when you play against like Sa and Tonga versing each other is always a big one. A bit of bit I don't know that game last year against Sa was almost felt like we won a grand final.
Yeah.
They didn't care about any other games. So it was just that one game.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a video and I was like, they were like, "Oh, did you just make grand final?" I was like, "Nah, that's just one of the games before the grand final." But to us, it felt like a grand final.
It did. It did.
But like with like is it like a national team for the Tongan rugby league, or is it kind of growing? Because obviously the men's is like, bruh, like next level with those boys, and they're doing so well. But with the women's side, is like how does that work? With the Tongan.
Yeah, I think they are starting to. look into having a women's side, because we've got so many talented Tongan athletes that, you know, we
Yeah,
could be dominant like the men's side, and I honestly have no doubt that we can be as good as the other nations like New Zealand and Australia, because you look at the likes of Tawila,
yeah,
Maima, and all those girls that are of Tongan descent, you know, and
hundred
who are
percent.
playing for countries like New Zealand and Australia. So um, I think they are in the process of trying to start up a Tongan women's team, and it'll be awesome. I'd love to play for Tonga one day.
Yeah,
Um,
Tonga
you know,
over
and give back.
Australia? No.
You know what? I've actually I've wanted to do with Australia. So I would love to, like, if the opportunity came around, I'd love to play for my country, because um, you know, it's 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 a huge honor for me, and I'm a proud Tongan. So, you know, if I ever got the opportunity to play for Tonga, I would 1,000% be in.
Yeah, yeah, I bet. I bet, like, yeah, like I said, those little tournaments like Cupic and that. I actually remember my first one, and they were like coming from New Zealand. They're like, "Oh, it's just a small tournament." And I went there. It's not small. There's like heaps of people there. It's just, I think it's, but there's something different there. Like everyone gets together. Like not just the footy, but you got the food stalls. Obviously, you can't have it now, but no, it's cool. Culture. Obviously, we're very passionate about our Pacific Island culture, and but just in the wrap up of this one of this chat, with like obviously with footy and now moving you're back home in Sydney, and that, is there a goal or a dream that you're yet to achieve that you've always been wanting to achieve in footy, or outside of it, maybe career and that you're still yet to kind of aim for?
Yeah, well, one that springs to mind, sort of on field, would be winning in NRW with the Roosters.
Yeah,
I'd love to do that,
yeah,
because honestly, I can't explain how amazing that club is to us. And um, you know, the reason why I actually picked the Roosters to begin with is because, you know, when I walked in there the day one, they just made it feel like home,
yeah,
and it honestly does. It didn't feel like we were the girls' team and the men's team. We were all just
yeah, cool.
fell under that Roosters um, banner from day one, and they just treat us like we're like the men. You know, we're not the women's team. We're the Roosters. So I
So
would love to win NRW with the Roosters.
that would be pretty cool. I think the Broncos had enough with their wins. They can just relax,
Yeah,
or
I think we
maybe
need to.
they can pass it to the guys. Oh no,
I think the guy need to pass it to us too.
yeah. Well, I think so. It needs to be a swap. But like in the Roosters, when you mentioned that, like they kind of make you feel at home in there. Do you guys bump into the guys while you guys are training, or like is it quite close knitted in that case in terms of like trainings or like um meetups that you guys have with workshops or things like that, or how does it kind of work in the Roosters home base?
Yeah, so we're really lucky. So Trent Robinson, the head coach of the men's side, you know, he has a one philosophy that we're all one. Like I said before, so we have done a couple of touch sessions with the boys, and we
So,
come across them every day at the gym, and just around the club, and they're so lovely. You know, they stop and say hello and have a conversation with the girls. So we're really lucky as a club. We get to sort of integrate with the men's team so that we feel like, you know, it's one and not
yeah,
two different teams. And yeah, it's really good. We have a good culture at the Roosters for sure.
yeah. Do you the first time when that happened, when you guys kind of saw some of the boys, we kind of like, oh, just acting like professional, or we like, oh my gosh, like were you
Yeah,
buzzing
so
up?
I've been really lucky. So because I've played for New South Wales and Australia, you know, I've got to see a couple of those boys before. So I've gotten over my little fangirl girling, like, oh my gosh, there's Jason Manu,
Sorry,
there's Daniel Tupou. Yeah.
you might need to do a
So
Zoom when
yeah.
you're back over there. Hey? You need to say hi to my
We should have
friends.
done a Zoom session when I was there at the headquarters. So yeah, I don't get really starstruck as much. But I know a lot of the girls who have never played at their level who come into the team are like, oh my gosh, can you get a picture with me? Can you get a which is really cool and cute.
But yeah, because it would be quite surreal, one being like an NRL player, but then seeing some of the boys that you see on TV and having to try and act like, oh yeah, yeah, hi. You know, it would be quite, especially for the young ones coming through, like, they'd be like buzzing, like, Instagram out, like, chucking it on
Yeah,
this thing.
Insta story.
Hard out, but no, that's so cool. So, obviously, you see how this year goes now that NRL dubs back. I don't really have a team that I specifically support in the NRL dub because my team's Melbourne Storm and we're yet to have an NRL dub team. So I just support, support the girls. But
Your friends.
yeah, all my friends, all my fans. No, but should be good. I'm excited to see the season kick off, and then obviously Origin will be back as well.
Hmm.
All the best with that because obviously I'll be supporting the real team. No, but no, it should be good. But lastly, just before we wrap up, for someone who's like maybe a young athlete, like aspiring to make NRL or make state or international, is there any advice that you'd give to one of the young bucks coming through?
Yeah, a massive thing for me is mentality and being mentally clear, because you can be the best athlete, you can be the fittest, fastest, and strongest athlete, but if you're not clear in your mind, or you're not stable mentally, then it really does affect your performance. And I like I said before, touched on before, it really affected me in a lot of ways, and especially on field. So just being able to be clear in the mind and do whatever you can. I do meditation, I do yoga to keep me relaxed,
Yeah,
and just work hard. Everybody who's made it to that level has had to work hard in some respects. So a lot of hard work and dedication and discipline, will get you there.
yeah, and changing to vegan as well.
And change to vegan, yes,
Yeah.
and not eating meat or
Yeah,
KFC,
well, we're
which
getting
bullies.
there. We're getting there. No, but so thanks so much for that, and also like letting us in on um how you cope with your mental health as well. I think meditation and that a lot is a lot more athletes and that are kind of not promoting it, but kind of just letting people know that they do it, and for athletes coming through, kind of gives them, oh, okay, it's all good to do it, like. And so
Yeah.
uh taking that time to reflect and get your mental health and your mindset in a good place is good. So no doubt someone listening, some young buck that is one of your fans, I'm sure will because you know how you got heaps because just all these teams that you're
Oh,
making.
that's it.
No, but
Cut it out.
no, I know that one of the young bucks or whoever's watching this will take something out of it. So thanks heaps for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
That's all good. I might need to edit some of the stuff that you said about your teams, but um, I don't know about that,
Oh, here
but
we go.
no, but for everyone else that's watching as well, thanks heaps. Hope you got something out of it. If you haven't already, obviously make sure you subscribe and we'll chuck Ness's URL down the bottom too. I don't know why you want to follow someone with the teams that she plays, but it might help one or two people. But yeah, all good. Thanks heaps, sis.
Thanks, guys. No worries. Thank you.